Hello, hello. All right. Hiya. I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield, founder of strategicmeditation.com, where I teach small to medium sized enterprise business owners exactly how to think differently in their role as the visionary of their companies so that they can minimize effort and maximize their impact. And how we do that is through teaching them a structured and repeatable process for strategic meditation. And I wanted to go live for a second. By the way, when I look here, looking at one camera. When I'm looking here, I'm looking at another camera, just in case you're like, why am I looking back and forth? Right. I wanted to go live for a sec to ask the question, and I want you to respond in the comments below. I'm going live specifically so that I can ask you this question. Are workaholic business owners actually more productive than those who are not workaholic? Like, what does that look like? Because earlier today, as I was meeting with my team and we were jamming about all of the things that we are up to in the company and all the people that we're excited to support and to help change their lives around introducing them to the practice of strategic meditation. To my surprise, um, we started really jamming around this idea of the workaholic as okay, like, is that how many of us know someone or is someone who's a workaholic, right? So, a workaholic, I would say, is someone who works more than the set 9 to 5. And when there are social situations that come up, say with family, friends, loved ones, or opportunities to do things other than work, you choose work first, right? Work becomes this all consuming thing. I was just reading up about the concept of 996. Have you heard of this? So 996 is part of hustle culture, where instead of working a 9 to 5, this is especially out in our friends out in China, they have a 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Um, a 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. workday, 6 days a week. And that's the new norm, or how my sales manager, Sonia, shout out to you, Sonia. Hello, good to see you. All right. So there's this thing. My sales manager said, I was watching a video the other day about this woman sharing about, oh, I left my 9 to 5 because I wanted to start like a soap creating business. And now I work from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. So it's like, what? Why are we creating workaholism? Are workaholics more productive than people who aren't, right? And are you a workaholic? I know for me, I'm a recovering workaholic. For me, I also personally, I'm just going to wave at people on Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. All my followers coming in live. Um, so for all of like for me personally, why I started on this path of doing strategic meditation for business was actually to manage my own energy and my own productivity levels. I'm an emotional person, right? And I wanted to not have my emotions mess with the level of productivity that I was having at work. And by the way, this is backed by the statistics. So the American Psychological Association, in their 2017 Stress in America survey, said that 58% of Americans say work is a significant source of stress. By the way, wave at me, right? Give me like a waving hands emoji, or that's me, or type the word stress if that's you. If you would agree that your work, your line of work, even if you love it, is actually a significant source of a significant source of stress. Um, ComPsych also did a study back in 2016 that says the main sources of work stress include 36% say it's the workload, 31% say it's people issues, right? So working with other annoying, crusty people. Then 20% of respondents said work life balance is the main source of work stress. Job security, 8% people said back then. And then the remaining 5% said other because, there's always outliers. Shout out to all of my outliers. Interestingly, uh, studies have shown that millennials experience more depression, in particular at work, than any other generation in history. And in technology, especially, the American Psychological Association did a study that shows 1 in 5 Americans say tech is a major source of stress, like all our technology. And 43% of those who were surveyed said that they regard themselves as constant checkers of their technology, of their social media, right, of the news, of email. You're constantly, they would self-describe as a constant checker. So workers are experiencing a recent organizational change. Then if they've gone through a recent organizational change, they're 4 times as likely to report experiencing physical health symptoms. So when I'm talking about stress, I'm not just talking about um emotional stress, but also physical stress on the body from overworking and things changing in your workplace, right? Trying to pivot and go along as best you can. Studies have also shown that occupational stress costs US employers an estimated 300 billion with a B annually dollars through absenteeism, illness, and productivity effects. So that again is another study from the American Psychological Association. And what's crazy is that we glorify being a workaholic, working ourselves to the bone. Although we're working harder than ever, our health is in decline, right? As a community, as a society. And so a lot of the samplings that I just shared came from American studies, right? But this is I would have to say it's pretty representative of, let's say, first world countries that are very techno centric in the way that they approach work, right? And being able to deliver on the promises that the company has made. So I'm curious, in your opinion, I need you to comment below wherever you're watching live. Do you think Truly, do you think that workaholics, especially workaholic business owners, because I'm looking to speak to those in the community who either are business owners or who know business owners, do you think that workaholic business owners are actually more productive doing continuous work like a 996 if you're lucky, because there's also the 997 of people who work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, or 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. 7 days a week, especially for those of you who are in the internet business and product based business. Like what have you seen? Do you feel that being a workaholic, do you believe, what is your opinion, that being a workaholic is actually more productive? So I'm going to give you a little bit more of the research. So meditation, when applied strategically to a business context, has been shown by many comparative studies to increase productivity as well as profits. Okay, so like let's just start with a few of the studies, and I'm going to build up to it. So, for one, the University of Pennsylvania, in conjunction with the Alzheimer's Research Prevention Foundation, studied workers' memory and cerebral blood flow and found that the participants in their study who were taking 2 to 3 breaks during each hour to consciously relax, stretch, meditate, yawn, or do something, at least something pleasurable, even for 10 seconds. Hey, Rob, thanks for tuning in live, brother. Even if they did it for 10 seconds, it reduced their stress levels, enhanced their cognitive awareness, and boosted their concentration and productivity. In this study, it was showed by 40%, a 40% boost in concentration and productivity just by applying meditation strategically while at work, right? So, also another study was done looking at the data from a productivity app called Desktime that tracks employees' computer use. And so, the most productive workers, they were looking at a Chinese accounting firm of over 500 employees who were really into number crunching, like they're responsible for hard number crunching, being highly accurate and precise, right? So, looking at the top most productive workers, the app data showed that the highest performing 10% tended to work for 52 consecutive minutes, followed by a 17-minute break, right? And for those of you who are familiar with the Pomodoro technique, this kind of research is totally in alignment with that. Are we making sense this far? Right? So I wanted to continue into a few more statistics if you're open to hearing it. So with with meditation, when it's applied in a in a business context strategically, studies have also shown that it increases productivity by pretty dramatic results. Okay, so when a Detroit-based chemical plant um, did applied a meditation process to and program to their plant, their employees, like they had them regularly implement strategic meditation into their daily and weekly routines as an entire company. It showed that employee absenteeism fell by 85%. Employee productivity rose by 120%. Injuries at the power plant fell by 70%, and profits increased by 520%. What is this? Like, holy cow. So, okay, productivity increasing by 120%, 1.2x increase on productivity, and profits increasing by 520. That's a 5.2x increase. What does that mean? Right? So if you were only making um as a team, let's say about $1,000, right? As a person bringing in $1,000. So I'm going to break out my calculator before applying strategic meditation. I'm going to times that by 5.2, and that comes out to 5,200, right? Would you rather have $1,000 or $5,200 for your time invested? You tell me. Type it in the comments below if you're watching live. Do you want the 1,000 for your time invested, or do you want the 5,200 for your time invested? One more study I'm going to share. A study conducted at the University of Washington found that those who had meditation training in the workplace, meaning while they are at work, were able to stay on task longer and were less distracted. Meditation also improved memory and alleviated stress in those who participated in the study. Right? So it's up to you. What do you want for your time invested? The $1,000 or the $5,200 for your time invested? Same amount of time, but the energy that you come to it is different, And because the energy that you put in is different, the output that you receive is different. And that's the power of strategic meditation for business. And so I get asked this all the time. What's the difference between Rob, you said you'd take the $1,000 instead of the 5,200. All right, bro. It's up to you, my friend. I would, if I was spending the same amount of time, I would rather have the higher amount. So that way I didn't have to spend much more time. Oh, he says, oh, I meant the 5,200. Hello, my dear. So, yeah, exactly. So, for I get asked this all of the time, like, what is strategic meditation then? Like, what are people doing? Are they just like, taking a nap during their workday? Right? Are they taking a nap during their workday, and is that increasing their profits 5.2x? No. That is not what strategic meditation is. So strategic meditation, I want you to write this down, is that it is meditation done first before a targeted action is taken. Strategic meditation is meditation that is done first before a given action, right? A targeted action is taken. It's kind of like if you've ever seen someone going to fire an arrow in as an archer. You could just try and throw the arrow without putting it onto the bow and the nock and everything and getting lined up. You could just throw it on your own and you'll see how far that arrow goes, right? Some people are really great at throwing darts. Maybe your arrow will go a certain amount of ways. Whereas if you put your arrow on the nock, get it into alignment, right? Click it in and pull back. What's going to happen is the dynamic tension, right, of you pulling back on that arrow. Once you let it go, boom, right? You have so much more torque behind pushing that arrow. It could go, instead of a couple of feet, it could go hundreds of yards, right? If you have like a compound bow, for example. And that's the power of strategic meditation. It's meant to be active preparation before a targeted action is taken. And when we think about meditation as like a, regular old meditation is usually something for us to chill out, to wind down, to tune out and like go on a spiritual journey, to explore other worlds, to relax, to slow down, to go within, to clear your mind. And the goal of regular meditation is for you to slow down and have a clear and empty mind, right? For you to relax your body, right? Lower your blood pressure. By the way, all of this is awesome. Don't get me wrong, right? If my maternal grandfather would have practiced regular meditation while at work, he may have been alive by the time I was born, but he dropped dead at work at 52 years old, leaving his three girls orphaned because their mother had already passed away of cancer at the time because he had a massive heart attack at work. He worked himself to death. He had a massive heart attack at work because he was more focused on being the best. He was the top salesman for the lumberyard that he worked at, and district manager, district sales manager. So he was more concerned about being the best and winning the game of sales than coming home and having powerful work-life balance and having longevity. So when we're talking about this, why strategic meditation is important, it's about you staying in the game. Are you playing an infinite game here, or are you playing a finite game? Finite games we play to win, right? There's a finite beginning, a finite end, and there is a finite number of players. right? There's a finite amount of points that can be won, and only one person can win a finite game, according to game theory. Whereas in an infinite game, there is no defined beginning, there's no defined end, there is no limit on the amount of players that can participate in the game. And there is no limit on the amount of points because the points don't really matter. How you quote unquote win an infinite game is staying in the game, right? Longevity, being able to go the distance. So when I'm talking about strategic meditation, why would you want to dynamically prepare for any action or decision that you're about to make in business? Is so that you have longevity. Your energy is everything, especially in business. Your energy is everything, especially in business. So the more that you learn how to manage your energy, the more effective you'll be. So strategic meditation differs from regular meditation in that instead of slowing you down, it actually speeds you up, like it charges you up for the action that is about to be taken. So it's meant to be an active meditation. Most of my students actually, when I teach them how to do my process for strategic meditation, they meditate with their eyes open. They don't even go to sleep. They don't even like close their eyes, etc. Their eyes are open, and usually they're writing consistently throughout the entire meditation because strategic meditation is also meant to guide decision making. So rather than, tuning you out, checking you out, and like flowing and just exploring and kind of like an entertaining spiritual experience that meditation can be, or how regular meditation can be. And then regular meditation also just clears your mind so that you don't think at all, right? We're trying to disconnect from all thoughts, especially for those of you who practice transcendental meditation. Instead of that, strategic meditation orders your thoughts, brings you into deep internal conversation so that you're able to make concise, clear decisions fast so that you know where you're headed next in your business and how to communicate that effectively, not only to yourself, but to your prospects and to your team. If you are if you are a member of a team, right? Communication is everything. And so strategic meditation I teach to business owners because they need a practice that can balance, yes, their blood pressure, right, and balance their work life balance out while helping them know what's the right next decision for me to make in my business. How do I communicate better with my team where we are going? Right? What is the vision? What is the vision that if I give it to my team, they are going to understand? Or what is the vision that if I give it to my prospects, they are going to get it? They are going to convert and to buy, right? So if this is something that speaks to you, head on over to strategicmeditation.com, right? That's my website. We're currently going through updating it, so forgive me if sometimes it looks a little interesting. But go to strategicmeditation.com to learn more about our open houses, right? I do weekly as well as monthly open houses for strategic meditation, teaching about the foundations of the structured practice for exactly how to think differently, right? Steve Jobs, we all quote him for saying, think differently, like, right? Apple and all of that. But okay, the how? How do we do that? Thank you, Steve Jobs, for that great two-word saying. But what about the structure? How exactly does one think differently? And I teach a 7-stage structure that is a repeatable process for strategic meditation that increases productivity and profits, right? And I've seen the statistics come alive in my own business as well as that of my clients. For me, when I first applied strategic meditation to my business, I went from being a workaholic with no results to taking my energy and pointing it in the right direction because I followed my guidance in the strategic meditation process, and I quadrupled my business in a year. That was the first time that I've applied it. I've done that a few more times since for myself, but then I started sharing it with my clients. And my clients have dwarfed me. They've done way better. They are my students of strategic meditation. I'm honored to see how people have rebranded their businesses, launched books and podcasts, right? Significantly, like gone from charging, let's say, about 100 a month to $20,000 packages and successfully closing deals, moved from different industries, right? And shifted their mindset, all because we practice strategic meditation as a community. If you want to know more about that, because this is only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I only got to share a few statistics with you. There's more where that came from. So if you want to even see more meditation statistics, go to strategicmeditation.com, scroll through, uh, click through and see what's there for you, as well as hop in on our next open house for strategic meditation. Looking forward to seeing you. Comment below, what was your favorite thing about today's live stream? And again, I'm still waiting for some of you to answer my initial opening question. In your opinion, are workaholics really more productive? After hearing all of this, what do you say? I want to hear it from you. I can quote all of the statistics till the cows come home, but nothing compares to you. Every single individual, I believe, is the center of all wisdom. You're the smartest person in the room. You're the authority. So I'm curious, does being a workaholic actually make you more productive? Now, it just as a caveat in the comments section, I'm asking people for opinions. I am not asking people to judge other people's opinions. I just want to hear what everyone has to say, right? I'm not interested in someone trolling and correcting other people for having an opinion. No, no, no. I want the full rainbow of opinions in the comments and no attacking other people for having a unique point of view. I'm interested in the raw data. So give it to me if you don't mind. All right. And with that, I'm sending you lots of love, and we'll see you at strategicmeditation.com for more information. All righty.